right, everyone. Welcome back to BJ's Fantasy Corner. It's been about a month since we've seen all you guys, and I hope everyone had a very good Thanksgiving and a very Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, I've got a new microphone in front of my face, so Santa Claus was good to me. Hopefully, it was good to you. Jimmy, was your Christmas pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good. A couple games for Xbox, so gives me something to do, spend my time with the days off.
Nice, nice. Gotta love that. We got kids got some games. We're playing that, and I got a green screen behind me now, so I got the real professional setup. I just gotta get a little bit more of a better space set up for this when I go to do it. But hopefully, I sound good on the recording, and we can get this thing rolling. All right, so we're going into week 17. It's the last week of the year, at least for the regular season. The Bears semi control their own destiny. If they can beat the Packers this week, they're into the playoffs. There's no question about it. If the Arizona Cardinals lose, the Bears make the playoffs as well. We've got a lot of funky scenarios that can happen, but the Bears have won 3 straight in a row. They're 8-7, sitting pretty good. They dropped 41 on Jacksonville last week. Jacksonville's got the number 1 pick, by the way, so the Jets blew that a couple weeks ago. The run game is looking pretty strong right now. Who'd have thought they'd have a run game? I mean, the first 13 games of the year, they didn't have a run game. Well, the last 3, 4, all of a sudden they learned how to run. I don't know if we can attribute that to Bill Lazor making the calls now, or if they just realized we need to start running the ball, or else we're gonna have to rely on Mitch and Nick to do this for us, and this ain't gonna work. So, what do you think, Jimmy, of the last 3 games, how they've been, and then what do you think their chances of making the playoffs are right now?
Yeah, I mean, from what did we start 5-1,
Yep.
and we're like, all right, and then everything crashed back down to earth, and then now it's picking back up again ever since, like you said, Bill Lazor took over play calling. Now I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if it's because they've played nothing but bums, because that'll definitely help. I mean, we've talked about David Montgomery kind of being a bum, maybe even a bust of where he was drafted. And then, like I said, the last 3 or 4 games, I mean, he's been killing it. I mean, he's second in the NFL with the most rushing yards the past 4 games, only behind Derrick Henry, which makes sense. I mean, so yeah, I think that's something we've been asking for them to do is pretty much take the ball out of Mitch's hand, be a run first team. And then once you have that established, the old cliche, you got to have the running game so you can hit the play action and then go from there. I mean, I don't know. I'm really nervous about that Packers game because one, I mean, they're just humming.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't seem to be able to be stopped. And I was hoping that, they wouldn't play their starters. They had nothing to play for, but they're playing for, the only bye in the playoffs now. So um, I don't think it's going to be good. I mean, any given Sunday, I guess, but the way the Packers have been playing, I mean, Mitch still throws an occasional dumb interception. I mean, Rich Gannon was killing him,
Yeah.
calling it a high school interception. I mean, I don't know. There's good things going on with the play calling. I do think Bill Lazor has definitely helped, but then like you'll have that commit jet sweep on the goal line, and that just screams Matt Nagy to me. Like he's slowly trying to, pull a couple play sheets back to that Denny's Diner menu, and maybe even try to take back over for the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't.
I think you can see, Matt Nagy's probably doing one of those, hey, you're doing a real good job playing the calls, but he's like sliding under the table. Why don't you try this one? It's a goal line situation. Cole Kmet could run that jet sweep. I know he's big and lunky, but he could do it. Why not do it with, Darnell Mooney or anyone else who's not a tight end who's fast?
Running back.
Yeah, anyone but Kmet. Yeah, I think you have a very good point though about the Green Bay Packers game this week. I have a feeling I have a very, very bad feeling that the prediction I made at the beginning of the year when they drafted Jordan Love and I said, watch out for Aaron Rodgers because he's going to be hell bent on burning the world down around him. And he's so far has done that. Pulling up the stats, he's got 44 touchdown passes to 5 interceptions. That number is just crazy to me. I mean, he's the MVP. I know everyone says Patrick Mahomes is better, and he might be, but this year, right now with this team, I've never seen Aaron Rodgers play so good. I mean, even the year they won the Super Bowl, I don't think he was even this good. He's picking apart defenses. He's barely getting touched in the pocket. Devontae Adams has 17 touchdown catches right now. I mean, you're looking at a 1-2 punch that if they stick together, if they stick with Rodgers after this year for a few more years, it could be pretty good going down the road. So I think they're gonna have a problem this week with Green Bay, and that's unfortunate. But we still have to hope maybe Kyler Murray doesn't play, and our new favorite backup quarterback, the pride of Naperville, Chris Streveler, gets to start in Arizona. But I don't think he will. I think Kyler will probably play. Let's move a little bit further into a little bit of the Bears here, though. Do you think the way Mitch has been playing, he's going to get a new contract with them?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I hate it, I think he is. I mean, I think the only thing that can really save them not bringing him back, one, they have to not be here. I think if Pace and Nagy are both here, maybe if Nagy stays and they get a new GM and jettison Pace, maybe. But I think if Pace is still here, I think he's shown enough for whatever reason the past couple games that I think they're going to be like, hey, if we can get him on a cheap deal, maybe I don't even know if it'd be a 1-year deal, maybe a 2-year deal, somewhat cheap, and see and be like, hey, he's getting some progress. I mean, as much as I want the Bears to win and go deep into the playoffs, they have too many flaws that they're not going to be able to do that. So I wonder if Green Bay absolutely blows them out in Week 17, if old Virginia McCaskey says that's it and just cleans house. Because short of that, I think they're going to bring everybody back, which is horrible because I think it's just going to – you have to do a reset. Mitch has proven time and time again he's not the guy. Even if he shows flashes, you're going to be chasing you're going to be chasing those flashes the whole time he's here, and he'll throw those stupid interceptions, fumbles, things like that, and then you're just going to set your franchise back 10 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they were going to get rid of Nagy and Pace, they would have done it already when they were in the middle of that losing streak. I mean, look what Detroit Lions did. They were in the middle of, and they beat us. That got them out of their losing streak.
But I don't think the Bears have ever fired a head coach in season.
I think you're correct. I don't think they have either.
I think that's why.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's why.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about our Christmas Day game. We had the New Orleans Saints against the Minnesota Vikings, and what ended up being a high school football game where Alvin Kamara rushed for 6 touchdowns, 6 in one game. They didn't have an answer for him, so he just kept pounding the rock, and he kept running up the middle. I think he finished like 140 or 150 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. I mean, just a sick fantasy day for him. And, Minnesota was pretty much out of the playoffs anyway, so it really didn't matter if they won or lost. But, it was a demoralizing loss for them because they just got absolutely shellacked on national TV on Christmas Day. So I'm sure they all got to go home and open Christmas presents in a very sour mood. But Alvin Kamara, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers weren't having the year he was having, Alvin Kamara would be right up there with the talks for MVP too. I mean, he is that team right now. When he's going, they're going. When he was out, you could tell they weren't this – or not when he was out. When Drew Brees was out and it was a Taysom Hill show, you could tell that they had so many designed runs for Taysom Hill that Alvin Kamara ended up being kind of forgotten. And I think that would have hurt his chances of an MVP this year. Because if Drew Brees plays all year, I could see Alvin Kamara having the rushing title and the touchdown title because he just scores at will. So kind of unfortunate that the year played out for him the way it did. But he had a great game. My friend Dickie, unfortunately, was not in the championship game, and he had him and Mike Evans. He had 100 points between 2 guys. It was pretty sick. Yeah, I just think it was a shame that he didn't get to show off all year. But, oh, well, moving on. We had another COVID breakout. No, not really a breakout. A coach, I believe, or a linebacker for the Browns was either tested positive or considered a high case. And the entire Cleveland Browns receiving corps, except for like 2 people, were deemed high risk and could not play. So, of course, I picked up Baker Mayfield for my fantasy team this week, thinking, oh, he's had 3 great weeks. And then they have 4 players who can't even play. And he threw like 55 yards to Austin Hooper by himself because that was his only receiver. With them playing the Steelers this week, we also got news that Big Ben is going to be sitting out this one. So it's the Mason Rudolph, Myles Garrett revenge game. Jimmy, what do you think is going to happen?
Um, Nothing. I mean, I mean, they've already played each other a couple times since then. I mean, granted, it wasn't with Mason Rudolph at quarterback,
Right.
but I would have thought that, I don't know, some part of Miles Garrett would have been stomped on, you know, a hand, a groin, something, Um, yeah, I mean, they just didn't really seem to care. I mean, I get resting your starters, but I mean, I think you said what, like the Browns are like 9.5 point favorites or something like that now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, by resting them, I think they're going to let the Browns sneak in, which I mean, I guess it could be like the Bears Packers in 2010. Maybe they'll see the Browns, further down the line in the playoffs, and then Ben can rip them a new one.
Yeah. It's going to be, we don't have enough time on the show to go into all of the playoff scenarios because it is, I don't remember a year where it has been this crazy where the NFC East, three teams could win the division this weekend. Three different teams, the Giants, the Eagles, and the football team, the Washington football team, could win the division this week and have like a 6-10 record. Like
Right.
the 6-10 record is your winner in a division that bad. So Cowboys, I believe, are out of it. They don't have a chance. But
No, Cowboys, Eagles are out.
the
So
Eagles are out.
yeah, the Eagles are out. Everybody else, they have to win. If Washington wins, they're in. And then whoever wins the Dallas Giants game, if Washington loses, they're in.
Oh my gosh, that's just crazy. Speaking of the Washington Redskins, they
Just about to say.
moving on to them. They just released yesterday, I believe it was, or yeah, yesterday, right? It was Monday. Yesterday, they released Dwayne Haskins, last year's number 1 pick, number 15th overall last year. Just released him. Uh, he's not playing very good for one thing. Two, he went to a strip club with no mask on during COVID protocols, so they slapped him with a $40,000 fine. They stripped him of his captain hood, whatever you want to call it, and I gotta believe that played into him not being on the team anymore. I mean, they're saying, "Oh no, it's strictly based on play." He was a first-round pick last year. You've already given up on him. That says a lot about either his character or your lack of trust in him to make good decisions. So I don't know what you think about it, but I've heard things that he's not going to play again. I think someone will give him a shot. But what do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll play again. I think a lot of it is, like Pat McAfee was talking about it. He doesn't even know how he even became a captain because there were rumors his whole rookie year that this guy just doesn't get it. And I don't know if that's, I mean, nobody wants to be compared to Jamarcus Russell, but I don't know if it's something like that. I mean, Haskins played decent in college, but I
For
mean,
1 year.
yeah, between him and Daniel Jones, I mean, Daniel Jones is playing okay now. I mean, it's not a Patrick Mahomes or Sean Watson kind of draft when they got drafted. So, I mean, I think one, they might have overdrafted just for need. I think another thing to look at too is everybody that's in Washington right now is not who drafted him. So, if it's your guy, maybe you say, hey, he's a young guy. He's playing basically in his hometown, so there's issues there going back with old friends and things like that. But
Sure.
I mean, even going back to last year when he missed the final kneel in the game because he was taking selfies with fans in the stands. I mean, he just doesn't get it. Like, eh, especially at a quarterback position, you're the face of the franchise. You need to do something, and he just hasn't. So I think it's just a perfect storm. I mean, you're performing on the field, you're not going to get cut. If you're not performing, and then you're just an idiot off the field. I mean, he's had multiple COVID issues. And then he was quote unquote sick for like 3 weeks and just wasn't even there. Nobody knew what happened to him. I mean, I think, like I said, just perfect storm. I mean, he has some talent, so hopefully he catches on somewhere. Maybe he sits behind, um, you know, uh, a veteran quarterback. I kept joking with people that the Steelers are going to pick him up because I could see. I mean, that's a great organization to kind of rehab behind. So
Sure.
who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't. Like I said, I don't think he's done in the NFL. I mean, my God, look, if you go through the NFL and look at all the backup quarterbacks right now, again, Chris Streveler is the backup in Arizona. You have Kyler Murray, who you can't even see my hand off the screen. It's how high he is, and you have to go all the way down to the floor to find Chris Streveler. No one's ever heard of him, and he's the backup. So if you mean to tell me that a team out there won't take a flyer on Dwayne Haskins, number 1 pick last year, Dwayne Haskins. I mean, I don't want to call him a reclamation project, but I mean, he needs work. He needs work. Not only does he need work in the field, he needs work personally. He needs to have someone, smack some sense into him and say, "Hey, idiot, quit doing this stuff because you're going to blow a cake job in the NFL. You're a quarterback. You don't get touched except for on Sundays. And even then, if you have a good offensive line, you won't get touched at all. And then you're the face of the franchise. Everyone looks to you. You're it. You're the guy. He needs this Peyton, who needs to sit down with Peyton Manning? Peyton Manning sits down with him and talks to him and tells him, look, you're a great quarterback. You just got to work on these few things. I'm sure he would listen. I mean, I would listen to Peyton Manning. I never even played football. So, well, I played high school football, but that doesn't count. So, I mean, I feel like the show's not over for him. I just don't know who's going to take a flyer on him with all the off-field problems he's been having. So we'll kind of leave it at that. All right, so we got some talk here about the Jets. So you want to talk about the Jets as a curious case because what are they going to do in the draft? They lost the number 1 pick when they won that game against the Rams. So Jacksonville, welcome Trevor Lawrence. He's your guy. What do the Jets need that they're going to pick at number 2?
Everything.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. Like,
can they pick a coach?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, that's first thing. I think Gase is gone.
Oh yeah.
I think the GM stays. Yeah. I think that Gase was kind of forced on him, which that was a weird hire. Anyway.
Weird like this, like.
Yeah, he's a looking all around.
Like, where to look at the camera.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what they do. I mean, because there were talks of as soon as they get Lawrence, Darnold's gone for maybe 3 or 4. Just clean house, revamp with everything. Now, I mean, I wonder do they like Justin Fields? I mean, they're huge buzz on Zach Wilson moving up from BYU, being the number 2 quarterback taken. Or do they stick with Darnold? I mean, the guy's only, I think, 24, 25.
Yeah, he's young.
So, I mean, yeah. So do you say, okay, we'll grab, the best left tackle. Then you got Becton already. He could be your right tackle. And then just give him weapons because there's nobody in New York. I mean, they got Jamison Crowder.
That's it.
And that's it.
That's it. Frank Gore's going to be retiring. I mean, my God, The guy's been playing for 100 years. I can't imagine him going much longer. And
so, I mean, I don't know what they do. If they just stay at 2, I mean, obviously everybody's an armchair GM and everybody wants to trade back and get a haul of picks. But, I mean, if they're at 2, I think they're going to be at 2 pretty sure no matter what because I think Cincinnati's at 3 and they have like 4 games won or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they can move back and let somebody come up, overdraft, Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, and then just collect picks and just fill as many holes as you can. I mean, they have a lot of cap room too. So, I mean, it's one of those ones that the Jets are going to be somebody that I go through the mock draft process with because they have a lot of picks already. They have cap space, so you can just move wherever you want. So, yeah, I don't know why. I mean, you can't tell the players not to win because, I mean, they're professionals.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I mean, I don't know why Gase was still employed then once they won, because as soon as they lost Lawrence, I would just fired him because it doesn't matter anymore. You're right there?
Yeah, my camera's acting kind of funky. I don't know what's going on with it. Hold on. Maybe adjust.
Yeah, it's a little low.
Yeah, it's getting goofy on me here. Hold on. Oop.
Oh,
there we go.
There's the moneymaker.
I don't know what happened there.
Right.
Battery got a little low on the gimbal. I'm gonna have to get a different system for this. Yeah. I don't. I mean, if they keep Darnold, which I don't know why I can't see them going number 2 with a quarterback. I just don't think the quarterback class is that good to go 1-2. Trevor Lawrence is number 1 for sure. I don't think 1-2 is going to happen. I don't know, and obviously no quarterback's going to go to Cincinnati. They're not going to pick Joe Burrow this year and then pick a quarterback next year. So I don't know where the draft order falls after that, but the Miami Dolphins, though, to me, is a very interesting case because they're going to have a top 10 pick or something like that.
I think they're at 6 or 7 right now.
And they're going to make the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting what they do. I could very well see them trading that pick and saying, we don't need to be this high. Let's trade back to the top 15, grab a few more picks behind it, and let's just stock up, make a big stockpile of players and go from there. So Yeah, the Jets are going to be an interesting case this year as far as what they do in the draft and what they do with Darnold. The Darnold is the biggest piece in this. If he stays, if they decide we're going to keep him and not trade him, then they're not going to pick a quarterback. I don't think they're going to waste a pick on a quarterback because they have Darnold already in place and they can pick up anyone off the scrap heap to be their backup. So, all right, let's move on to let's see. Let's go ahead and move on to our predictions this week. We're kind of catching up on time here. These lines have moved quite a bit since I checked them. So it's going to be, I had, for example, like Cleveland at +6.5. They're actually at not Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Sorry, I got to change that. Pittsburgh is actually at minus 9.5 now. So I'm moving my pick there. So we're gonna go each week, each game here like we usually do and do our picks. Let's start with Atlanta versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is -6. They're already in the playoffs, so they've said though they're playing everyone. I got Tampa Bay winning that game against Atlanta.
Yeah, same thing. I think there's nothing for either team to play for really. So, just based on talent alone, Tampa Bay should win.
We have Baltimore versus Cincinnati. Right now, well, I don't know if it changed, but Baltimore was an 11.5-point favorite. I'm going to roll with Cincinnati on this one, plus 11.5 points. After they beat the Steelers the other week, I kind of got a little faith in them because I think they're playing angry now without Joe Burrow there. I feel like they want to punch someone in the mouth, and Lamar Jackson is that guy right now after they did it to Ben Roethlisberger. Who do you got, Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, so hot take. I mean, scorching hot take. They better
Scorching hot.
without Joe Burrow. I mean, Brandon Allen is just killing people. I mean, I'm assuming that's just because he's looking for a starting gig or something once Joey B comes back next year. But that being said, I'll take Baltimore. Um, yeah, I mean, they have to win to get in, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think there's going to be any let up at all. So that could be an early slaughter on that one.
Okay. We have Dallas at the New York Giants. Dallas is I guess a 3-point favorite now. I had them at 2.5, but I think they moved it to 3. I'm taking Dallas in that one. I think they're going to win.
Yeah, this is my first pick. I'm going to take Dallas -3. Like we said, kind of in the rundown, whoever wins the Dallas Giants game, they have to win that in order to be eligible for the playoffs, and then they have to hope that. But when's the Washington game? Sunday night. So
Yes.
they have to. Whoever wins then has to wait until Sunday night, the
At
very
10
last
o'clock.
game,
Yeah.
to be like, hey, are we making it or not? So I just think they have Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle's been kind of dealing lately. So I like them -3.
Okay. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. Indy's a -13.5-point favorite. I think Indy's going to win easily.
Yeah, same thing as I said as Baltimore. Indy has to win, I believe, to get in or stay in, whichever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about that 13.5, but after what Mitch just did to Jacksonville, I can see Old Man Rivers putting up some points on him.
Sure. All right, we have New Orleans versus Carolina. New Orleans is a -6. They are playing for the number 1 seed, so it's an important game. I'm going New Orleans on this one. I think they'll win easily.
Yeah, I almost made this my pick because only 6 with such a big game on the line. I mean, Carolina has been playing better, but yeah, I think New Orleans wins easily.
Okay. New York Jets versus New England Patriots. New England's a 5.5-point favorite. I'm going with New England on this one. I think they're going to bounce back after getting their heads kicked in by Buffalo.
Did you see the passing stats?
I did. The ones you sent me that.
Yeah.
What was it, 78 total passing yards for the Patriots that game?
Something like that. I think
crazy.
Cam had 44 passing yards. And Stidham had whatever. I'm like, good God, man. Like, anyway, with that being said, just keep the train rolling. I'm going Jets on that one.
Ooh.
I still like the Jets defense. And, I mean, maybe they found something right now and just keep the momentum moving.
Maybe. Green Bay Packers versus our Chicago Bears. Now, I'm making this my second pick. I'm taking Chicago. Yeah, well, hey, look at the background. Look at my hat, my jersey. I'm taking Chicago. I think it's still +4. If it's not, I'll take it. Whatever it's at, I'll take those points. If it's +4 or +5 or 4.5, I'll take the points with Chicago on this one.
It's 5.5 now.
I will take the 5.5.
Yeah, even better, man. Getting better
Yep,
for you. Everything's
that's
coming
right.
up, Ben.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take. I say that, and then I have Chicago too. I mean, I think
Outright.
outright, baby. Like I don't know, like I yeah, I don't know. Just like you said, it's a homer. I mean, I we could see it, and it's the exact same Jacksonville game, except Green Bay has the
Jacksonville.
41 points. But yeah, I mean, why not? Let's go.
All right, Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. Cleveland's a 9.5 point favorite, and I am taking Pittsburgh with the 9.5 points without Ben Roethlisberger. I think Mason Rudolph's going to throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Boom, hot take.
Hard to do when you're in concussion protocol, buddy.
Helmets of the head will do that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going Cleveland on that one. Same thing. I mean, the AFC North. I mean, everybody has to win to get in. So I mean, and I don't know who else is sitting. I don't know if it's just Big Ben or if a bunch of other starters are sitting too.
Yeah.
So
So far,
I
it's just
mean,
Big Ben. That's all I've seen.
that's all they need, baby. The Brownies all the way.
All right, Tennessee versus Houston. Tennessee's a 7.5 point favorite. I'm going Tennessee. I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I'm going Tennessee also. We kind of talked about Rodgers with the MVP. I mean, Derrick Henry is he's just a monster. I mean, I think they said he may be the only person or the second person that if he ties for first for the touchdowns, he'll be the first running back in 2 or 3 years that he's first in every category:
That's
carries,
like
yards, touchdowns.
it's like a triple
That's
crown almost.
right. That's amazing, especially when he is the offense. But yeah, I mean, Tennessee should roll easily. I think they have to win as well to stay whatever they're at.
They have there's a big scenario out there where Indy or Tennessee could win the South depending on what they do, what the other team does, and then a few other things have to happen. But it's either one of the two. One of those two is going to win the South, the division.
Right.
All right, so let's move on to Las Vegas Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. Denver was -1 originally. It looks like you have the Raiders at -2.5 now. So that line moved already. I was kind of shocked to see Denver was a favorite in that game to begin with, but I think Denver's going to win. I think they're going to just play hard and see what happens and take it to Derek Carr.
Yeah, so this is my second pick. I have the Raiders -2.5. I mean, I still like Denver, but I think the Raiders are going to be playing pissed off since they were idiots and lost that last game and took themselves out of playoff contention.
Yeah.
So -2.5.
Okay. Seattle versus the San Francisco 49ers. Seattle is a -4.5 point favorite right now. I'm not sure if that line has moved at all. It's probably about the same. I believe Seattle's going to win. San Francisco put up a good game this past week and they won. So I don't think they're going to win though against Seattle. I think Seattle's just too much for them.
Yeah, so it's 5.5 now.
5.5. Okay.
Yeah, I refuse to bet on Seattle ever again.
Burned every time.
Yeah, every time they had that FanDuel year breakdown or whatever, and they were my most bet team.
Oh boy.
But there weren't a lot of wins coming from that team.
No.
But yeah, I mean Seattle, I think they're just kind of cruising. The Niners, I don't know if it's Nick Mullins, if that bum Jimmy G's back, if it's CJ Beathard, Jeff Garcia, it doesn't matter.
Jeff
Seattle.
Garcia. All right, we got Washington football team versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The football team is a 1.5 point dog. I'm picking the football team to win it. I think they're going to put on a good show.
Yeah, this is my third pick. I don't know why they're underdogs when they're leading the division, and like we mentioned before, they win, they're in.
Quarterback, that's why.
Well, who's the quarterback?
Not Alex Smith.
Not Haskins.
Whoever the other guy is now, I don't remember his name. I don't even remember his name. It's weird.
Who was it? Oh, it was
Heineke, something like that.
No, I thought it was another Allen guy.
No, he's hurt.
He's hurt too. Who's the quarterback?
Kyle Allen was the guy. He got hurt.
Allen,
he broke his leg. Remember, he had his nasty leg break.
Oh, that's nothing. Alex Smith came back.
Well, it was this year, I think. I don't know. Whoever they're playing.
McCoy doing?
Colt McCoy's with the Giants.
Hook 'em, baby.
Hook 'em.
Tyler Heineke.
Heineke. I knew it was a Heineke type name. Yeah, that's why they're +1.5. All right,
Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl.
Minnesota versus. Can you imagine a Super Bowl team with a losing record? That'd be crazy. I mean, the only one close enough was the Giants when they went 9-7. So Minnesota versus Detroit. Minnesota, surprisingly, is only a 6.5 point favorite in this game, unless that line has moved. Minnesota's going to beat them, I think, pretty easily. You're going to see Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson probably run crazy if they play. They may not even play because they're not playing for anything anymore.
Yeah, it's still 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Minnesota. I mean, even as bad as Minnesota has looked, Detroit's worse. I mean, they're. Um, I know we kind of talked about like Louis Riddick was going to interview with him for GM and stuff. Yeah, I don't know why you would go there. I mean, they just snake bit.
You're supposed to run away from a dumpster fire, not towards it. Buffalo versus Miami versus Buffalo. I got Buffalo winning this one. They don't really have anything to play for, but I think they're just going to play hard against Miami because it's an interdivision rival and they can possibly knock them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything, like you said, if about resting starters or anything. It's only Buffalo's -1. I wasn't even a line until I look now. Um, yeah, I'm going Buffalo because
Okay.
I like the Dolphins, but I mean, this is a Josh Allen podcast, so.
Josh Allen, our new boy this year. Who was our guy
Oh,
last
last
year?
year, we
Was it
liked
last
Josh
year?
Allen last
Josh
year.
Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we had someone else we loved a lot more last year than Josh
No,
Allen.
I rolled him out like every year when we used to pick the quarter. You pick 2 or 3 players. This is Josh Allen, baby. Him and the DK train.
Josh Allen, DK. All right, and look at the year they had this year.
See, look at that. We know what
All
we're
right,
talking about.
we've got the Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have literally nothing to play for now. They're the first seed. They're getting the bye. I haven't seen anything that they're resting any starters. Have you?
No, I haven't. No.
And I when I looked, I didn't even have a line on this game, so I don't even know what the line is. It's probably, I imagine it's the Chiefs by a bunch. But I'm going Kansas City on this one.
They must have announced that they're sitting because the Chargers are 3.5-point favorites.
Okay, someone on the Chiefs is sitting.
Somebody.
Probably Mahomes, maybe Tyreek Hill, possibly Kelsey. I mean, the wide receivers and tight ends you don't really want to sit because they need that. They need to keep moving. Keep body in motion, stays in motion. Quarterback can rest because he doesn't have to do a whole lot of moving around like they do. So
who's the backup? Is it Henney still?
oh God, you didn't ask me that. I don't know. Throw a dart at a dartboard and you won't.
Yeah, right.
As long as you don't hit Colin Kaepernick, you're right. He's the only guy not in the league right now who should be.
Right.
But that's another story. We got Arizona versus the Rams. Now, this is possibly the second most important game of the day, behind the Bears game, because if the Arizona Cardinals lose, we get in the playoffs. We don't have to win. If they lose, we get in. The downside is we're both playing at 325. So we have to play. We can't not play. We have to play everyone. Everyone has to play hard. So I'm hoping Arizona loses, but Jared Goff broke his thumb. He's not playing. They just signed Poppin Bortles. So I'm going with Arizona, which will probably shoot us in the foot, and we won't make the playoffs at 8-8 and be in draft hell.
Yeah, I mean, put a big mitt on Jared Goff's thumb. I mean, he can't throw the ball much worse than he has. I mean, maybe even lefty. I mean, I don't know what I mean. Same thing. I think Arizona. I mean, I think Kyler Murray is going to give it a go at least for a half to see, maybe do some scoreboard watching for the Bears game. Once we're up 50-0, so
yeah,
then they won't have to play. It is Chad Henne is the backup in KC. So
Chad Henne is still in the league.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I feel like he's been around forever. That's like telling me Elvis Gerbach is still playing.
Elvis Gerbach. Oh man.
All right, so we're picking our Chicago sleeper this week. This is our super sleeper pick. Now I don't know how many points we have right now because we've been off.
I'm whooping you.
Yeah, I know you probably are. I'm gonna go with Darnell Mooney with 75 receiving yards, just 75 receiving yards. Not even a touchdown, just 75 receiving yards. That's my pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go David Montgomery. I'm gonna go 140 combo yards. I was gonna do a little lower, but I mean he's been averaging right around 100 on the ground alone. Yeah. So, I mean once he tears off that 80-yarder on the first run, we should be good.
And Green Bay is susceptible to the run, so he could have a big game. We could rely heavy on the run game and possibly pull this off. But Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to tear the top off of us with this passing. So I really hope he doesn't. I hope the Bears defense shows up. Maybe Jalen Johnson will get a chance to play this week and do.
I hope. I can't see Vildor out there anymore. Yeah. The guy's a bum.
Yeah, well, your guy, our guy Pace picked them. So, all right, the end of the regular season is here. It's week 17. Fantasy football is all but over. Sadly, we have nothing else to look forward to other than the playoffs. If the Bears make it, we really have something to look forward to. But we're going to go with our Super Bowl prediction. This is our early Super Bowl prediction. This could definitely change next week after the playoffs are set. But I'm going to go first. And Mike Smith, I know you're listening. I know you're going to watch this the whole way through because you're a true fan. I'm picking the Green Bay Packers to play against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'm picking the Chiefs to win, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for me, unfortunately for him. 35-21. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Aaron Rodgers is your MVP. So, Mike Smith, Merry Christmas. And I think the Packers are going to the Super Bowl, and I think you're going to have the MVP.
So I'll say mine, and then I was thinking maybe we could do a dark horse Super Bowl team.
Ooh, I like that.
Spicy. I'm really going to go out on a limb here. I haven't seen a whole lot of these teams as far as their coverage or anything. So I mean, they're kind of in their own right dark horse. I want to go Green Bay versus Kansas City as well. I'm going to go Kansas City winning also, 38-27.
Okay. All right. So, dark horse. This is going to be, man, you caught me off guard with this one.
Yeah.
I got to think now. Man, I'm going to throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals are going to be in the Super Bowl. I think they're going to win, and then I think the Bears are going to lose, and I think they're going to run like crazy with Kyler Murray.
Okay, that is spicy. I want to go with our guy Josh Allen. The Buffalo Bills. I mean, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that's as much as I want to say, like, I don't feel like that's an overly dark horse pick because of how well he's playing and how well they're playing, but no one's talking about him. It's pretty much Kansas City and Green Bay. That's only teams people are talking about right now are Kansas City and Green Bay. So Josh Allen, I watched some of that game last night. Holy cow, that guy can throw the ball. He can throw it through a wall. He can run. And, and he throws it differently. I was watching the way Cam Newton throws the ball versus how he throws the ball. Even though Josh Allen can whip it, he has touch. He can lead a receiver and get him where he's in catching it in stride. I feel like when Cam Newton throws it, he's trying to throw it through a wall with no touch on it, and he can't throw that little 5-yard pass easily. You're watching Cam Newton throw a dump pass, and it either ends up at the guy's feet or 5 yards behind him because he's throwing it so hard. So your pick of Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills going is could very well happen. I mean, they're playing good, solid football all around, so it would not surprise me if they make it to the Super Bowl and break the curse of the Buffalo Bills.
Book it.
Put it on the board, kids. Yes. All right. Well, that's it for us this week, guys. Don't forget to find us on Facebook, BJ's Fantasy Corner. Like us and subscribe down below in the channel, and then also find us on Twitter at BJ's Fantasy Corner. That is it for us this week, though. Hopefully, after this week, we're cracking a beer, celebrating a Bears victory, or at least a Bears playoff appearance of some kind. But we'll see. Until then, everyone have a good night. Stay safe and have a good day.